Hi everyone, it's Gary Nicholson here for the Mountain Weather Information Service. This is your planning outlook video on Friday the 25th of January. It's a generally cold story that will continue as we head towards the start of February, with low pressure more or less in charge, and a rather unsettled trend is with us. Day-to-day detail is going to be rather tricky, so always keep a close eye on your latest local forecasts. But further accumulations of snow, perhaps substantial, on the mountains are looking likely. Let's have a look at the snow depth forecast, this off one model, and this is the snow depth for any given 6-hour period, and we'll run the sequence on over a week ahead. At the current time, as we head into Saturday, the snow is really confined to the Scottish Highlands, with milder air just currently. A thaw has set in at least across England and Wales, and even lower slopes in Scotland. As we go through Saturday, though, there's some snow still likely to fall across the Scottish tops, mostly towards the north, where the cold air hangs on. And as we go through later Saturday onwards into Sunday, cold air will become more extensive again, and snow is more likely to fall to lower levels. So as we go through into Sunday, the Pennines, the Lakes and Snowdonia, where showers fall, they will be snow again and settling. Onwards into the new week, then there'll be some further snow showers coming in on a northwesterly, so notice that it's the Northwest Highlands, the northern Cairngorms, that's likely to have seen the most of snow up to this point, with north or northwesterly winds dominating. As we go through into the middle of the week, the risk is of an area of low pressure that spins in from the southwest, which could well give more extensive snow even to lower lying areas in central parts of England and Wales. A long way off to get the absolute detail of that one, but it gives some scope for some snowfall more widely, even towards mid Wales and the Peak District, and there's chances are further accumulations into the Highlands as well at this stage. Treated carefully, but there's the modelling by around next Thursday, which does at least indicate the risk of lying snow even to low levels in central England. So it backs up a cold story, and one which puts the mountains more or less in frozen conditions most of the way through. This is the 850 millibar temperature then, and that's currently at around 4,000 feet or so in the atmosphere, so you're around 1,200 metres or so. This is the warm sector that's in place as we go through Saturday. You'll notice how the air temperature will then drop as a cold front sweeps eastwards as low pressure passes east overnight Saturday into Sunday, and temperatures fall markedly as the wind turns northerly into Sunday. Temperatures at this level then -5 to -8, so expect the Cairngorm observation station to be recording something around -7, -8. Add on the wind chill and conditions will be severe. Onwards into the start of the new week, and the cold air mass is more or less in charge. Temperatures will fluctuate slightly. There may be some degree of thawing on lower slopes, mainly in England and Wales, but overall the cold air is still in charge, and this is through over a few days next week. It's a cold air mass that essentially is originating out of Greenland, the North Atlantic, not getting any easterlies in at the moment. The models have kept trying to find that, but we've never quite got there at this stage. Instead, in the middle of the week, it's likely to be a cyclonic situation where the cold air is very much entrenched across the northern half of Britain. There's milder air and fronts coming in from the south. Somewhere in the middle is the battleground with rain and snow. These are your synoptic charts for the next few days. Then Saturday has an area of low pressure with the cold front we've just mentioned passing eastwards. Winds are gale force, maybe even becoming severe gale force in places. But in the centre of the low, there's something of a lull, and winds will change quite a bit through the day on Saturday, so check your local details for that one. Expect things to vary through the day. Rain and snow then across the Highlands, chiefly rain across England and Wales, and then becoming more likely snow as that cold front passes east late in the day. Sunday sees that low out over the North Sea. It's northerly gales or severe gales across the mountains, that severe chill factor in charge. Bands of showers coming in from the north, the northern Cairngorms, the eastern side of the Pennines, and a few bands into North Wales too. And it may well be as that front is wrapped around, at least early in the day, there's more extensive rain and snow, say above 200 or 300 metres across the Pennines and parts of the Peak District. Again, keep an eye on your local forecasts for all of that. Into Monday, things change again as the west by northwesterly comes in. There's not really any mild air within that. It's being occluded out as the fronts come in. So no great change of temperature, and it gives that scope for showers or some more organised precipitation falling generally as snow over the hills and mountains. Rain maybe at lower slopes around the coasts. Looks like a day that deteriorates. How quickly it deteriorates across Scotland is open to a bit of question. I think for England and Wales, you may at least get away with part of the day dry before that front does approach. Wind strengthening again. Tuesday starts to get greater levels of uncertainty. It looks as though it's a west by northwesterly flow and troughs within that producing areas of showers. Most of these around coastal hills and mountains in the west. Some sunshine away from those. Cloud bases will vary. Notice the little area of low pressure moving towards Biscay. That's the start of a signal for low pressure systems to track further south, and I think that'll be the theme through midweek. Which one of these eventually develops into a more potent low, we can't quite tell at this stage, but there it will be the risk of the rain and snow more extensively to the south of Britain by that stage when that does develop. So to step back and look at the big picture for the second half of the week, there's some generally cold air that's stored towards the north and northwest of Britain. Low pressure is more or less in charge. The jet stream is fairly active, and you can more or less deduce the jet stream as the location on this chart where the colours change most rapidly. The colours represent temperatures at middle layers in the atmosphere, and the jet stream being fuelled by some marked temperature contrasts over the eastern side of the Atlantic. Some very cold air over North America, the eastern half of the States and Canada at the moment. So to go onwards through midweek, basically we see areas of low pressure spawned from the North Atlantic and coming towards us, the jet running to the south, and those lows just tracking on a more southerly direction to recently, but leaving a generally cyclonic pattern across the British Isles. The low could be quite a broad feature. It may well be there's fronts which run through, there's fronts and troughs which create showers. So it's all a little bit messy, I think, in the second half of the week, but we keep the idea of low pressure more or less in charge, a cold air mass that is sitting across the country. So areas of snow, maybe showers, maybe something more organised at times. Generally the mountains staying frozen all the way through. I'll be surprised if anything really mild gets in at this stage. It doesn't look like we're finding an easterly, but it doesn't look like a southwesterly comes in at this stage. There's maybe just a glimmer as we go to the first weekend of February that pressure tries to build a little bit from the Atlantic. The air mass might just become relatively less cold with time, but no huge changes looking likely just at this stage. So difficulty is in the detail, but the overall theme, I think, is pretty much set up for the next week to 10 days. That's one of being cold. There'll be some snow at times and accumulating on many of the mountains. Stay up to date with your local forecast then every day at the Mountain Weather Information Service website. We'll update the video again for you early in the new week. Thanks for watching. Bye for now.